Hey y'all, this is Sergeant Dan with Palmetto Edge, and this time I have something for you a little out of the ordinary for me. This is the Schrade Viper OTF. Um, so let me get it open here, and like usual, I'll give you a close up as best as I can of it. This one has actually been carried a whole lot. Not ever used to my knowledge. Okay. Um, but here, once I'm done with this close up, we'll get into size comparisons and specifications, all that great stuff. Okay. So, um, full disclosure, this is my wife's knife. But let me. So, yeah. Anyway, it's not my knife. I have carried it a little bit just to check it out, get used to it. So, let's see size comparisons here. Here it is up against the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Here it is up against a Benchmade Bug Out. And let's compare it to another OTF. Here it is up against a Microtech Ultratech. Okay. Oh, there we go. Alright, so there's your size comparisons. Now, specifications. Overall length on this thing is 8.5 inches with a 3.375 inch blade length. The steel is Alsate. Steel's Alsate. Handles or frame or whatever. Yeah, I guess it's, I don't know. This outer part here is aluminum. Stainless steel pocket clip. Clip is one position only, I believe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't have a tool to take. I don't want to do that on video anyway. I have a tool right now to take it off and see. But I believe the pocket clip is one position only, and that would be right hand tip down, I guess, technically, if you want to look at it that way, tip down. This is, I don't know. I think some states consider this an automatic, and some states consider this an assisted, to tell you the truth, because I believe South Carolina's laws aren't too picky, okay? But no way. No, this has got to be an automatic. It's got to be considered an automatic, because it's a single action, so it's got to still be considered an automatic. Oh, see? Got to still be considered an automatic wherever you go. Let's see. It is a single action automatic, which means you push the button, the blade comes out, you pull it back, and it doesn't, okay? It means you have to release the blade, pull it back yourself in order to charge it and launch it up again. It does have a little pointy thing on the end here that they claim can be used as a window breaker. I don't know about that, but see, things made in China. Schrade, I think I said, aluminum. This one in particular is has your standard edge up at the end here, and then your dual serrations on each side. It is sharpened on both sides of the blade. I think they call this a spear point. I guess that's it as far as specifications. Now let me get into review. I actually bought this knife for my wife several years ago. Geez, I don't know, 8 years ago or more, maybe. And at the time, she was working for a retail company. Sorry, I had to get a sip. When I'm done with my story, I'll show you what I'm drinking. She worked for a retail, I'll just go ahead and tell you, a retail pharmacy, as a pharmacy technician. And this company's policy was that employees couldn't carry guns. At the time when I bought her this knife, I was not yet a police officer. I think, dang, I don't remember if we were in high school or just in college or something like that. Okay, so we were much younger than we are right now. Okay, so golly, yeah, it's got to be more than. Man, I had to have bought this for eight or more years ago. Anyway, and so my thought with that was, well, what about when she's walking to her car at night? How's she going to defend herself? Or what if someone tries to rob the place and they're right up on her? You know, how's she going to defend herself? Something like that. So I said, here, let me get you this. I had her, and the reason why I got the one with the dual serrations is for better, what did I call it the other day? Better protein processing, okay? And that was the main purpose behind this knife, was for processing proteins, okay? But anyway, this knife comes in several different blade styles, okay? So I think they come in a tanto and one that's not serrated. So yeah, tanto, non-serrated, like just your standard drop point or Bowie or something like that. Okay, so it comes in several different blade options. But anyway, that was the idea behind this knife when I got it for her. Thank goodness it never had to get used that way. But that was the purpose behind this knife. One thing I forgot to mention, it does have a safety on it way back here. So if you draw it out of your pocket, you have to actuate that safety, then climb down. Make sure your hands are out of the way, because here's your charging handle. Make sure your hands out of the way, actuate it, and then you're good to go. It's got blade play in every direction. You know, it's a cheap Schrade. What do you expect? The aluminum handles are super, super thin, like almost paper thin. You know, the handles on your Boker Kalashnikov, okay, are aluminum, but they're a nice, thick, higher quality aluminum than these. I mean, you can hear it. I mean, just, you know, certain materials, just certain sounds they make kind of help tip you off to the quality. And this one is definitely one of them. The one good thing I can say about it, it's got a great action. The button the lever here to open it is super, super easy to push. Okay, much easier than this. Okay, of course this is a totally different kind of action. Okay, I've kind of already touched base on it, but this is a single action OTF, which means you push the button, the knife comes out, and the knife's out. Okay, you have to release it, draw it back manually, whereas this is a double action, meaning the button makes it come out and go back. Okay, so that's that's the difference between the two. Like I said, it has a safety. I never recommend keeping safeties on because with guns I don't train with safeties. I don't want to have to worry about a safety with a knife. Okay, I've only got one knife that I ever keep my safety on with, and that is my Gerber Empower here. And that's just because that button sticks out way far, and you don't even have to press it in all the way to make the blade come out. So I just don't want that knife opening in my pocket. So that's the only knife I ever have that I keep the safety on. Guys, I'm trying to do this knife justice, because if you buy it with a purpose, okay, with a particular purpose in mind, like I did for my wife, who by the way at the time was just my girlfriend. If you buy it with a particular purpose in mind, like I did, and understand the limitations of the knife, understand what you're expecting it to maybe do if it ever needs to, I believe this knife totally fit that. It fit that purpose. It fit those intentions. It fit that idea. The let me touch on this while I'm thinking about it. The texturing on it is wonderful. I gotta say that's one thing that I do like about it. The texturing is great. I believe if she ever did have to process some proteins with this, okay, that it wouldn't. If she had a decent grip on it, it wouldn't slip. She wouldn't wind up cutting herself in the process. Okay. I would never trust. Let me just get this out of the way. Speaking as someone who has actually used glass breakers on knives, okay, these two in mind in particular, to actually break windshields or break glass on vehicles, knowing the effort that it takes, even with these, the effort that it takes, the materials that it takes, how hard those glasses actually are. I would never in a million years say that you could expect this tip here. Where is it? Come on. This tip here to break glass. Okay. It just, maybe if you're lucky, if you hit it just right or something like that, it might, but I don't know. I would not rely on that as being a good, reliable glass breaker. It does have a deep carry pocket clip. That's one thing I did love about it. It does have a deep carry pocket clip. So when it's in your pocket, I mean, you got this caution blade ejects, which I think is stupid. Why on earth would you put that on a pocket clip, you know? But you do have that on the outside. But it is a low profile, deep carry pocket clip. Really, really fairly concealable as far as this knife goes. One thing you have to be aware of is that you're not holding it like this when you try to open that blade, because your hand is going to keep it from deploying properly, okay? Because the charging handle is right on the side here, right where you want to grip a blade good, okay? So it's real easy to to be in the way of yourself as far as this goes. So if you ever were to have to open it, you got to make sure you're holding it this way so you can get it open that way. I hate Alsate steel. The blade's Alsate steel. Absolutely hate Alsate steel. If it were a utility knife, I would have complaints about that. But like I said, with this being I'm pretty sure she had to use it in a pinch a couple of times as just a cutting object, you know. But apart from this being a self-defense knife, hold on, what am I trying to say? With the purpose of this knife in particular, for me and my wife, being a self-defense knife, Alsate's fine, okay? At that point, the steel doesn't matter, okay? Because it's one of those kind of knives that you hope you never actually use. And if you do, even if you break it on that one use, it's served its purpose, right? So, if you're someone who is planning, who has the mindset that I do as far as this knife goes, you want to get something for your wife, your girlfriend that's inexpensive, that can be used for self-defense. Sure, yeah, absolutely. But if you are a knife person, if you're a knife guy, knife gal, whatever, and you have any experience whatsoever with other OTFs, this thing is a hunk of junk, y'all. It doesn't even, I hesitate to even mention it in the same sentence as something like an Ultratech. Even my HK Hadron, okay? It's a great OTF. It's just in a completely different world from this one, okay? But, on the other hand, I go, what, $250 or so? If even that little, 280. I don't even really know how much Ultratechs go for now, but you know, a couple $100 or more for this versus $40 for this. I don't know. If you're someone that doesn't care a whole lot about knives, if you're not a knife collector, sure, why not? Why not? But you like that, yeah. But you like the thought of an OTF, yeah. Why not? Or if you're someone like me who is a knife connoisseur, okay, but wants something inexpensive for a specific purpose for someone who is not a knife connoisseur, this might just fit the bill. Okay, this might just be what you're looking for. And as a side note, Smith & Wesson makes some in this exact same style too. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna have to leave it. If you're a knife connoisseur who's looking for a budget OTF, just keep in mind this thing's a hunk of junk, okay? Please, please, please keep in mind this thing's a hunk of junk. But if you're someone who, like me, was looking for a specific knife for a specific purpose, for a specific loved one or something like that, this knife definitely fit the bill. And I'm not going to downplay that, okay? In a situation, if she were to have to use this for self-defense purposes, I believe it would absolutely work. It would absolutely do its job. Okay, so I don't want to downplay that aspect of it. So, yeah, there you go, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Twitter and the Instagram. Twitter's definitely on Instagram. But thank y'all for watching again. Y'all have a good one.